All right, now we're going to switch over to football, and this is right up your alley, too, because it's about players and coaches and managers and who. And we talked earlier with Randy Mueller about what's going on in Denver with the Broncos. Mm-hmm. And Mark Schlereth, who played for the Broncos, is a media personality in Denver. He has a radio show. We worked together on First Take and also Undisputed. I've known Mark and whatnot. But he's taking a look at what's going on in Denver, and he's saying it's the players' fault, not Sean Payton, the coach. So this is interesting to me. Let's hear what he had to say.
Jerry Jeudy, you can have, I'm not trying to besmirch Jerry Jeudy. I don't even know Jerry Jeudy. But you're a first-round guy who was touted as the most talented receiver in the most talented receiver draft class in the history of the National Football League, and you haven't been worth a score to. You really haven't. You've been a bust. Can't stay healthy, don't make plays, disappear, drop the ball. And Cortland said, at this point, Mike, if you're the Broncos, hey, man, it was Vance Joseph's fault. No, wait, it was Vic Fangio's fault. Wait, no, it was Vic Fangio's coordinator, Wrinkles. It was his fault. No, it was Pat Shurmur's fault. No, it was the whole 9 yards fault. It was, it's we'll get Nate. No, it's Nathaniel Hackett's fault. No, it's all his assistant coach's fault, right? Now it's Sean Payton's fault. At some point, don't you have to hold the players accountable? And don't you have to start moving off the players you have on your roster?
See, here's my issue, and I get it, Dave. You're a former player. You played in the big leagues for 14 years, and there's times when players don't come through, and there's nothing that a manager or coach can do. But you can't let the coach totally off the hook, because if Sean Payton goes there, Dave, and what's their record now, Rob G? Is it 1-4? Okay. So if Sean Payton goes there now after they got rid of Nathaniel Hackett and he was bad, and they were 4-1, the conversation wouldn't be about the players. It would be about what? Look at what Sean Payton did. He took the team and they turned it around. What a great coach he is, and they would give him credit. So you can't have it both ways. You can't. If they win, you're going to give the coach credit, and if they lose, it's the players. And here's my other problem. Sean Payton is supposed to be a guy to turn this around. And now you're telling me that last year, that defense, the last 2 years, Rob G., that defense was top 10. Correct? They were top 10, Dave.
Yeah.
They gave up 70 points in an NFL game to Miami this year. So don't tell me that the players all stink, because they were a top 10 defense the last 2 years. If they would have averaged 18 points last year, they might have won 10, 11 games. They couldn't score last year, and Russell Wilson had a bad year at quarterback. So my point is, the coach has to get some blame too if you're going to celebrate him when he wins.
I am in total agreement with you, Rob. Football's the one sport, more so than baseball, more so than basketball, where the coaching is just imperative.
It's imperative.
You have to, because if football is a game of just one play at a time. All right, I could have the most talented players on my roster, but if I have a bad defensive scheme, or if I don't utilize my offensive players and make better use of their talents, that all falls on me as a coach. Schlereth brought up a Jeudy. Guy came out of Alabama. Great talent. Now he's in your system, Rob, and I hear Schlereth say he's dropping balls, can't stay healthy, this, that, and the other. And the first thing I thought of was who's the wide receiver coach?
Right.
How are they coaching him up? How are they making him better? Because once it's just like a draft in any sport, Rob. Once I get that talent, it's my job to improve that talent, to get the best out of that talent.
Right, he's not a finished product.
No, you're not a finished product. So my first question to Schlereth would be, well, who's the wide receiver coach? And that's the first place I'm going to look at, because all players want to be great.
Because he's working close with him, right?
Jeudy wants to be a great player,
right,
but he's the guy working with him. Football's the one sport. I was talking. It's so funny, Rob, because I was talking to one of my good buddies yesterday who was a big-time Broncos fan, and this actually came up. And he said there's not much difference between our personnel defensively this year than last year.
Right.
What's different is the defensive scheme. Now,
what they're running.
They have a new defensive coordinator this year, correct?
Right.
I believe they have a new defensive coordinator this year.
It's Vance Joseph, yeah. He's
new guy.
Right.
Oh, okay, so a new guy has come in.
Using them differently than they have been
implementing his way, and his way is not working with the personnel that they have.
And I'm going to say this. I remember, and here's a perfect example on what I consider good coaches. When Pat Riley was the coach of the Lakers, Showtime, Magic running up and down, boom, dunking, layups, all crazy, right? Showtime. When he got to the Knicks, remember that? He didn't have those players. He adjusted how he coached.
Yes.
He didn't say, I'm just a Showtime coach. No, you had Patrick Ewing and those guys. You didn't have any Showtime players to run the ball and imagine a 6'9" point guard and all that. So what did he do? He adjusted to be more physical like the Detroit Pistons, right? That kind of toughness, that's coaching.
Absolutely. A great coach looks at his personnel and his talent and says, how can I put these individuals in the best possible position for them to individually perform well, and therefore collectively we will be a better defense or offense. I was bringing up this point, Rob, that if you give me a quarterback who doesn't really throw the long ball very well,
right,
but he throws a short ball very well, well then I'm going to go draft some small, fast guys, Tyreek Hill, Edelmans, and we're going to short game you to death.
To death until you goodbye.
Until our quarterback improves on his long game. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to coach my personnel.
I'm not going to force him to throw the ball downfield when he can't do it consistently.
His skill
right.
set. So it falls on the coaches, absolutely. And then I'm a big believer of there's got to be someone in that clubhouse that can rally the troops. There's got to be someone in that club in the locker room that has leadership ability that can bring guys together and make them understand that we win and lose collectively. We're a family. We don't need to be biting at each other's ankles over here.
Right.
We don't need to be talking junk about no coaches. Okay. But the conversation needs to be had, Rob, whereby the defensive coordinator, you have now got to look at your scheme and say, I got to make adjustments because this is not working. And again, not much personnel has changed from last year, Rob.
And
that
speaks volumes. And I'm against giving people credit only one way, because you know that with all the hubbub about Sean Payton, and you had to give up picks and you had to pay him all this money, you expect him to make some changes and get some results. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but ain't no way did you think they would add Sean Payton and be worse than they were with Nathaniel Hackett.
No way.
No, am I right? No way.
Sean Payton has coached for many years. He's coached some really good teams too, Rob. So he knows the game. So Sean Payton comes in. I got to believe he's coming in with the mindset of what he knows and what has been successful for him. But what has been successful for him offensively may not match the personnel of what he has right now. Now, Russell Wilson, I believe, is on the decline. I hate to say that because I'm always pro athlete.
No, of course.
But there comes a time in which
but you got to face it. Am I right? We all
comes
do.
A time
Everybody.
in which you're on the decline. But one thing Russell Wilson still has is he still has that brain. He's still smart. So, Russell, how can you and Sean Payton get on the same page and figure out how we can move this ball, kick this ball down the road, right, and improve? Because they don't look like they're improving. They don't look like they're really improving. How are you going to practice every single day? An intelligent quarterback, an intelligent head coach. How are we?
And you're going backwards.
Yeah, how are we not improving? Like, that's the question. If I could hang out with both of them, I would say, fellas, how are we not improving?